Hello, guys. It's me, your boy John C, and I want to welcome you to another episode of the John C Live Show. You might remember my guest from a previous show, Mr. Jimmy Byrne, BY Security. How you doing, sir?
Hello, John. You all right? Good evening, mate.
I'm good, mate. How you been?
Yeah, not bad. Really busy.
Yeah, I want to say a big thank you for coming on again, Jimmy. Always a pleasure. Always welcome.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, we're going to do a bit of a strange interview today. Many people might be wondering what it is, but what I want to say to you is about your business connections and your friendships with ex-criminals or gangsters, if people want to call them that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to know, John?
I just want to know how does it tie in with your business? How did you meet them? How did you connect them with your business or yourself personally, or what made you do it, really?
Well, that's a good question, to be honest with you. And I'm glad that we're doing this interview and you've asked me that, because a lot of people judge me as a person, right, John? Hence
Yeah.
the reason I've had a T-shirt printed up, never judge a book by its cover, right?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, I run a security company based in Essex, as you know.
Yeah.
And I've been running this business for 21 years now, right, John?
Yeah.
And I do rub shoulders with ex-offenders, people that have been in prison, yeah, and people that have written books and what have you, yeah. Maybe people might say they're undesirables, but at the end of the day, when these people have done a prison sentence or they've done something wrong and they come out of prison, there's a good fair few of them that are actually turning to good stuff. Like there's one guy who sent me a book the other day, Terry Ellis. He's come out of prison. He's running a project in Camden Town, and he's doing food for the homeless. He's running an anti-knife campaign. He's involved with the local boxing clubs down here in Camden Town. So when these people, you know, they're quick to judge people, they're quick to jump on it and say, you know, all these people, they shouldn't be on the street. Well, they've served their time. They've done their prison. They've been away. They've had a smack on the wrist, but more than a smack on the wrist. They've gone away. They've done what they've got to do. Yeah. And I believe that a lot of them come out and they know the errors of their ways. Right. Now, if I'm rubbing shoulders with an ex-burglar or a criminal, and they're telling me stories about what they used to get up to and how they used to break into properties, and I'm keeping people safe.
Yeah.
That actually helps me with my job, believe it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, because... Sorry, go on.
So can you understand that with these people sharing information with me and, you know, telling me what they got up to, enables me to find all the weaknesses on people's premises, whether it be their domestic houses or whether it be business premises, whatever that does to help me with my security business is a bonus, isn't it, for me?
Yeah, I just think that a lot of people are like, I always believe in one motto, and I believe that everybody should be given a second chance in life. You might have, some people make mistakes in the beginning, but just because they did that then, it doesn't mean they do it now. So they should be given a fair chance. Yeah,
definitely, John. And at the end of the day, I'm not being funny. I deal with all sorts of people in society. I do a lot of charity work. I'm involved with the spiritualist movement. Yeah, like I love the spiritualist church and what they do and what they believe in and how they think. I've got friends who are judges, solicitors, all sorts of people. You know, I don't judge people personally. At the end of the day, we've all got one life, and at the end of the day, we've got to live it the best we can. Yeah. As long as you're not hurting little kids and elderly people, I don't, you know, at the end of the day, you've got to do what you've got to do. But my job is to prevent crime, to stop burglary. And these people actually help me do that, believe it or not.
Yeah, because sometimes you can actually get some really good connections from ex-criminals and stuff like that. I don't really like calling them that, but obviously that's what they are. But obviously you can make some really good friendships, you know. But other people would see that as, oh, why are you hanging around with that person, or why are you doing with that person? When at the end of the day, you're entitled to hang around with people you want to hang around with, and you shouldn't be stereotyped as a business owner because you hang around with ex-criminals.
Well, that's right. But the thing is, John, let's have it right, yeah? Without crime, right? Crime pays a lot of people, doesn't it? Yeah. At the end of
Yeah,
the day, it pays judges, solicitors, police officers, people like myself, yeah? It just goes round like a big fishbowl. At the end of the day, crime does, but they say crime don't pay, but it does pay. It pays people's wages, it pays bills, yeah? And at the end of the day, some people left school. I'm not making excuses. I could never make an excuse for burglary, right? Because it's not nice. I've seen terrible things in my time. But some people leave school, they can't read and write, they can't do this, they can't do that. And like I said, I'm not making an excuse. It don't mean to say you could break into somebody's home. But sometimes people go off track, they go off the rails and they go down that road. It's only as they get older that they learn that was wrong.
yeah, because it's true. Because like sometimes people always say the old boys thing that, like, say for example they had a dad and their dad was a criminal, for example. People
Yeah,
always say that people will follow in their footsteps when obviously, like as everyone knows, and obviously you'd understand this as well, that the things you got away with years ago, it doesn't pay to do it now because you're looking at like 18, 20-year recs for something that you'd get probably a slap on the wrist for back in the 60s and 70s.
John, all that crime, I agree with you. Listen, the crime game's gone, it's finished, yeah. With everything they've got, the technology that people have got, the government, the police and that. You know what? There's only one way, yeah. There's no shortcuts in this life.
No,
The only way you can go out is go and earn a straight living, right? At the end of the day. And as you know, me and you got a mutual friend, Mr. Dave Courtney, and a lot of people say to me, well, you know, what, I don't like Dave Courtney, this, that, and the other. I say, well, that's up to you, isn't it? It's not, I don't care. I think the geezer's a laugh. I go over his house, have a party. He's a good fella. He's got lots and lots of friends. He's got hundreds and hundreds of friends. So, you know, he can't be that bad. And then sometimes I say, well, have you ever met him? And they say, no, I've never met him. I just don't like him. And I think that's the people's mentality, isn't it? They've never met someone and they don't like them. I just can't get my head around things like that, if I'm honest.
because my answer to that would be to somebody, if someone said that to me, I'd be like, well, how can you judge somebody when you don't know them? If you know them, then yeah, you can have an opinion. But if you don't
Exactly.
know them, you've never met them, you're just a
Yeah,
keyboard warrior, then you can't really say anything because you don't know the person.
that's right.
And I agree with you on that. You know, yeah. So what do people think of you being friends with ex-criminals then, Jimmy?
John, to be honest, I don't know because no one ever says anything to your face, do they? That's why I wanted to do this interview. No one ever phones you up. But at the end of the day, John, 21 years I've run this business. I'm not a thief. Yeah. I know a lot of thieves. I know armed robbers, criminals, ex-armed robbers, whatever that, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I know all sorts of people in life. But I'm a very trusted man, you know. I take pride in my business and I value my business, right? And my family and everything I've got, right? At the end of the day, I work in jeweler shops and I'm allowed round the counter. I'm allowed upstairs. I work in people's businesses. The other day, I was on a job in a man's business and he had to rush off. And he said, Jim, can you watch the business for a half hour? I just got to shoot out. So there was petty cash there was keys, there was tools, there was all sorts there. And do you know what? I'm not a thief, John. I won't nick nothing. Won't even enter my head to take anything. Yeah. And that trust goes a long, long way. Right. That trust means everything to me. That's cost me over 20 years to build up that reputation to be trusted.
yeah. I just want to bring it to your attention. I don't know if it's your friend, but Mr. Rob Wild is watching. I don't know if that's your friend or mine. I'm not sure.
Well, hello, Rob. If you're watching, stay tuned in. Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Um, and yeah, so I think it's like with any business, in your business owner like yourself, that when you can go to another premises, if somebody can trust you with basically with their livelihood, then that shows what a trustworthy businessman and individual that you are to be left in a place like that with
That's
them
right,
things laying around at your disposal, and
John. We
you trust
we
it.
done a big hotel. Sorry to interrupt you there, but we done a big hotel the other month in Colchester a few months back.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of builders on site, and I like quiet, peace and quiet. So I said to the manager, do me a favour, give me a set of keys to the hotel, and we'll put all the cameras in over the weekend. And he went, what, you want a set of keys to this hotel? I said, yeah, if you don't mind. So the man trusted me with a set of keys to an hotel. There was rolls of carpet there, John, tins of paint, you name it, it was in that hotel, yeah? And do you know something? I wouldn't pick up a screw or a raw plug, yeah, that wasn't mine. We got the job done. The man was over the moon, and we give him the keys back on the Monday morning, and not one thing was touched in that hotel. And to me, that trust means everything, mate.
Yeah, because the way I look at it with that point is trust in it. Trust is what makes your business. If customers and clients can trust you, then that opens up doors for you in other ways, because then somebody else might say, "Oh, do you know a security firm that fits alarms?" Actually, we do. Actually, the guy from BY Security, they're really, really good. They're good at their job, but also they're trustworthy as well. So you doing that actually helps you with your business as well.
Of course it does. And as you know, my daughter Holly works with us. She's been with us for a while. She's worked with me since she was 7 years old, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Mel runs the office, so it's a small family-run business based on trust. And as I said, 21 years in business, over 5,000 customers, John. And at the end of the day, I do jobs for police, I do jobs for solicitors, I do jobs for milkmen, dustmen. I do jobs for everyone, the A to Z in society, yeah? I don't judge people. I just treat them, they're a customer. I turn up on the job. They want cameras, they want a burglar alarm, they want security lighting, whatever they want. They're just another customer to me, yeah? And they don't know about that one, they don't know about that one. It's a job. That's all it is. And everyone's treated the same.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's a good mindset to have in business, is that you treat everybody with exactly the same level of respect and the level of workmanship, and that's what's carrying your business and how you've got over 5,000 people that you've worked with over the years.
Yeah. And you know what, John? When I'm out and about with these people, these ex-offenders who have written books, I've got loads of books. Look, I've got The Black Widow by Linda Calvey. Yeah. She signed me that book the other week. Lovely lady. She's lovely, right? I've got a Cray book that was signed by someone who used to knock about the Crays years ago. People will probably go, oh, where we go, the Crays, whatever. But somebody sent me a signed copy of that book, right? So loads of books, John. Right? There's a book here somewhere. Old Lenny McLean, the bare knuckle fighter. I'm in that book. I've got about 4 or 5 page write up in that book. But one of my favourite books, to be honest with you, I've got one sent through today off of Terry Ellis, The Verizon, yeah, The Crime in Camden Town in London, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Jimmy Tippett's book, Born Gangster, yeah, right. But one of my favourite books is from an ex-burglar, Mr. Michael Fraser. Can you see that book, John?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the man who's on the telly, yeah? And he's a crime prevention man there, ex-burglar turned good, yeah? And he advises the police, he advises the celebrities, the stars. He's on car insurance, Halfords, you name it, that man's done it, right? He is like a security guru. But he's one of the nicest people you could ever meet. So why shouldn't I rub shoulders with people like that?
No, it's true. I think you should always like rub shoulders with who you want to rub shoulders with, because in the day you're not doing anything wrong. You're just having friends with people that obviously lived a naughty life, but obviously they're changed now. So obviously they can't really say that that's not okay. You're entitled to have friends with who you want, you know.
And some of them are quite straight up people, to be honest with you, John. They say it, they tell it how it is, right? They're all right, yeah. At the end of the day, I grew up in a rough council estate in Hackney in East London. I didn't have a lot growing up, right? I had a rough upbringing, went to the hardest school in London, and that was tough going, mate, yeah? And I moved on, and just slowly but slowly climbed up that ladder, right? But I never forget where I come from. I don't forget who I am. I don't forget who I was, yeah? But I like to think that every day that goes by, I try to be a better person myself, yeah? And I do a lot of charity work, John, if I can.
Yeah, feel free.
You've noticed that, haven't you?
Yeah, I can't imagine before where you obviously give out bags of food to the homeless and even money sometimes, you know. Even though sometimes people are a bit skeptical about giving away money because you don't know where that money actually goes. Does it go on food? Does it go on drugs? Does it go on whatever? So a lot of people tend to give like donations via food, which is the best way I think personally. But each to their own, I suppose. But sorry, Jimmy, for cutting you in.
No, we cover all angles. We do the lifeboats. Just recently, I've been in touch with the Essex Air Ambulance, and they've sent me a pot, and I've got to make £100 donation for them tomorrow. We do tons for charity and local stuff. I mean, don't forget, I was based in Southend-on-Sea, and I've moved out to Clacton now. But we still support the One Love Soup Kitchen. It's a massive project in Southend-on-Sea, and Christmas time, I think they fed over 100 people one night, one evening. And when you go and see their setup, it's heartbreaking. Yeah. So, you know, at the end of the day, I think if more people was to club together and do a little bit more, just a little bit, then it would make a difference.
Yeah, you got a comment here from Ross Eve saying top guy James Burns.
Lovely, thank you, Ross. He's a good guy as well. He does a lot up his end. He's constantly working hard. He's a good fella. So thank you, Ross. God bless you.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. And Carla Godwin is watching as well.
Lovely, nice one.
And yeah, so I hear you're friends with Michael Fraser or Frazier, is it?
Yeah, that's right. Michael Fraser. He's the one I showed you earlier with the book, as I said. Ex-burglar, but as I said, he's an advisor, a security advisor to the stars, the celebs. He's been on many adverts, and he advises the police. He's a good guy, but some people turn their nose up at him. But at the end of the day, he had a rough upbringing himself when he was young. So everybody's got a story, John, at the end of the day, and that's why we can't keep judging people and making assumptions. And also, we can't make excuses for people that do wrong neither. So we've got to find that balance, because it's easy to just keep making excuses for people, but really they need correcting. But most of these people I've met that have written books, and they're all right. They've learnt their errors of their ways. But another thing, people go, oh, if you write a book, you must be a grass. Well, no, not necessarily. If you write a book, you might be telling people about your past, or you might be trying to help people. You might be trying to put people on the right track. It don't always mean you're a grass because you've written a book. Maybe that comes down to a bit of jealousy. I don't know. Yeah, it's like some people have made films about themselves, haven't they, or their lives. You know, so what? What's the difference? As long as they're not hurting anyone.
Yeah, you got another message here from Christopher Livermore. God bless you, James.
Thank you, Christopher. God bless you, mate. Thanks for watching.
And Carla Godwin said hi, Jim.
Lovely. Well done. Nice for linking in, Carla.
As well. Yeah, so you covered the charity work, which I think is amazing what you do. And one day, obviously, I want to, we've been friends for a number of years now, and we only met last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For the first time. Briefly. Yeah. I want to do a lot more work with you. I actually want to do some filming with you, actually. Like a day in the life of a security operator or something like that. But we'll talk about that.
That'd be nice. The thing is, maybe you could come out with me one day, and you could show me around and come on some of the jobs with me. I mean, I deal with a lot of burglaries. Burglary's not nice. It's a terrible crime. Yeah.
No.
And unfortunately, 95% of people ring me when they've been burgled after. Yeah. They close the stable door after the horse is bolted. And for the sake of 600-700 quid or £1,000 for a few cameras round your ass, some people lose thousands, 30, 40, 50 grand's worth of gear, John, for the sake of having a basic security system in place. And it's not nice. It's not nice to see when it happens to the elderly, and it ain't nice to see young kids who can't sleep of the night because someone thinks it's their right to kick their door in and go and help themselves.
Yeah, can you see that message on the screen?
Yeah, I can see it scrolling at the bottom. Oh yeah, lovely, nice one. Thanks, Rob. Yeah.
No, because going back to what you just said, like, you even go out your way to help people as well, like the obviously like the less fortunate or the people like on like elderly on low incomes or whatever. You can sort them out like discounts and stuff like that. Is it, I believe, or am I got that wrong?
John, listen, I've done a job for a woman the other week. Yeah, she was on her own. She was a lovely woman. Yeah, and at the end of the day, she paid me, and I'll give her 45 quid back. And she went, "What are you doing?" I said, "Yeah, put it in your purse." She went, "You can't do that." I said, "Of course I can. I own the business." I said, "Just put it in your purse. Go on me, yeah." Because at the end of the day, John, I'm not all about money. Yeah,
No.
I don't drive brand spanking new vans. I ain't got a brand new flash car on the drive or nothing. Yeah. I'm just happy, yeah. I like helping people, but there's a downside to helping people, as you know. Sometimes people think kindness is a weakness. Yeah. And trust me, I ain't a weak man, right? I promise you that. I'm a one-man army, right? I'm not nothing special, but I don't tolerate nothing, yeah. I'm on my own, right? I've got no big brothers and people to call upon, but I've got me, all right? But at the end of the day, sometimes when you're nice to people, they take kindness as a weakness, and it's not nice because I'm coaching at the local boxing club up the road here, Holland Shore, Seconds Out Boxing Club. What a fantastic little boxing club that is. And to see the youngsters turning up week in and week out and doing their training and not sitting indoors on their Xboxes or not being out on the streets up to no good. The guy who runs it's name's Gareth Bayford, and I tell you what, Gareth Bayford, sorry, and he's a lovely fella. Him and his wife, they've set this club up, and they've put their heart and soul into it. And I tell you what a lovely boxing club it is. And the youngsters who turn up are fantastic, and I'll say well done to all of them.
No, because obviously, like, at least you're doing something for the community. Like, you're giving the kids something to do rather than going up, maybe committing a crime or being bored or doing something. At least they're doing something positive. I know people might say boxing might not be positive, but at least they're doing something constructive. They're off the streets and they're doing a sport. If they don't have to do boxing, they could do anything.
Could be anything, John. It could be football. It could be table tennis, couldn't it? As long as they're doing something constructive. But at the end of the day, with so much knife crime out there, what would you rather, a punch on the nose or a knife up your gut? But at the end of the day, and this is society, and it's terrible to see that these youngsters think that it's good to carry knives around. I mean, like that guy said earlier, Terry Ellis, he's out of Camden Town. He's done a few years in prison, but he's come out. He's running an anti-knife campaign. He's running a food bank. So who are we to judge him? Who is anybody in society to judge a man who's doing well and helping people?
Believe it or not, I was actually a part of that anti-knife group when I met, Ben Spann.
Yeah, that's right. He's doing a good job. Yeah.
Yeah, we did that, and obviously got filmed on TV and stuff like that. And obviously, I was supposed to get Terry on one of these podcasts, but obviously it was the wrong timing. But obviously, like, as you know, back in the day, if you had a problem with somebody, you used your fists back in the day. Now it's either knives or guns or knuckle dusters or whatever they want to use. They don't do it the normal way anymore. Normally, as you know, back in the day, you had a problem with someone, you had a straightener, then 9 times out of 10, you're shaking his hand and having a beer. 9 times out of 10. Now it's not. It's more knives and stuff like that. So it's really good sense in what you're talking about, Jimmy. It really is.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
I've
and
always,
and
I've
a lot of
always
people can learn. A lot of people can learn from this. You know, and reach out to you. You know, and I advise anybody that if they're looking for, don't wait until it happens. Even if you don't have a burglary, it's always good to have an alarm just in case, because you never know. In this day and age we live in, we never know. So it's always better to be safe than sorry. So what sort of security services do you do? I know you do the cameras, but what else do you do apart from
John,
the?
we install intruder alarms on people's houses. I like the domestic jobs. I prefer them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just call them the bread and butter jobs. But we
yeah,
do intruder alarms. We do CCTV. We fit ring doorbells, security lighting, door
yeah,
entry systems. But do you know what? I personally think that burglaries have gone from burglaries, house burglaries, to home invasions because you've got people going through people's doors these days and they're ruthless and they don't care. They don't care what they do and they don't care who they are or who's in the way. They're going through that door and they're taking what they want to take. And I tell you what, that ain't nice, right? To see the change from just a home burglary where mum's gone out to do the school run and come home and been burgled to people coming through your front door at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, there is a difference and it ain't nice.
no, no, but that's why I think it's amazing the services and stuff you offer and what you do to help local communities near where you're based. And hats off to you, you know. And I hope you have a long more, many years running in business.
Thank you. And as I said, I do collect these books and I do rub shoulders with these people that are ex-offenders. So
Yeah,
if that clears the air with anyone or stops people talking or whatever, I don't really care what people think anymore, John. At the end of the
no,
day, I'm a
no.
thief. I don't. I go to people's houses. I'm trusted. I make them safe and secure. I give them a good price. I don't have them over on the price. I look after people, and all I can do is try my best. Yeah, but I don't. At the same time, I don't judge these people. They've committed crimes. They've done what they had to do. They've gone to prison. They've come out, and all we can just hope and pray is that they're better people and they can educate people and the youngsters to not go down that life of crime. Yeah, because many of them have straightened a few kids up. So we can't knock them for that.
Yeah, one of my friends has actually just left you a good comment, actually, hitting the nail on the head for that. She put, keep doing what you're doing, Jimmy. So good to see there are people out there that care and help others. Blessed. That's from
Lovely.
Carla, from
Thank you very
Peterborough.
much. Oh, thank you.
She's a dear friend of mine from Peterborough. And yeah, so she said that to you. But I just think, like, but I do want to thank you, though, for giving up your time this evening, Jimmy, to share your business, a bit about your friendships with people, and it was an honour, mate, to have you, mate. Seriously,
Thanks
Clark is
for
a
the
very good friend
interview,
of mine.
John. Thanks for the
Right,
interview. And as I say, if you look at this T-shirt I wear, this is my work T-shirt now, and it says "Never judge a book by its cover" because too many people out there are judging good people for doing good
yeah,
things, and I don't want to know what someone's done 20 years ago. I don't want to know what someone's done 30 years ago, 15 years ago. I want to know what they're doing today and have they corrected themselves and are they on the straight and narrow? Because at the end of the day, we all make mistakes in life.
because I was just about to say that nobody is perfect. If everyone was perfect, the world would be a better place. But none of us are. But I
Yeah,
always tell people, don't judge me on what I did 2015. Judge me on what I'm doing right now.
that's
I'm
right.
I'm the person now than what I was back then. You know what I mean? I'm different. So judge me now. Don't look
That's
at the past. Look to the future.
right. So,
And
John, so thank you for the interview. If anybody does want house security, home security, give us a call, get in touch. If we're not local to you, go for a small local family run business wherever you live, whatever area you live in. If you've got the money and you can afford it, get some security because crime's getting worse, times are getting hard, and at the end of the day, prevention's better than cure, John. Yeah. and I do appreciate you coming on and giving me this interview. And at the end of the day, I just want to say, no one can tell me who I can be friends with. All right, at the end of the day.
No, I just want to say a big thank you to you, Jimmy, because you've been on 3 times, and you're welcome anytime you want to come on, share your businesses or share your story, or even share something that, because even if one person watches this video and was helped, it was well worth it.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? So if anybody wants any security systems or alarms, then just check out the website, which is scrolling at the bottom, which is bysecurityessex.co.uk, and the phone number in there as well. That's bysecurityessex.co.uk. Jimmy, thank you, buddy.
Thank you, John. God bless you. Take care.
God bless you, sir. Take care.
See you, mate. Bye.
See you, mate. Bye.